The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. such a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot see far enough to tell. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." The forest king watches the doors. The campfire will light. Find those who are lost. Bring embers to the fire. Travel wisely. Return if you have lost your way. Through the mist, Ember could feel they were being watched. The orchard gate was locked and needed a key. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. The cook was right. The pigs had destroyed everything. The pig was stuffed to bursting, having filled up on fruit in the orchard. The pig devoured the fruit with careless abandon. The frog seemed nervous, but also relieved to see Ember. They told Ember that the birds had let all the pigs into and that the pigs had eaten everything, all whilst the birds watched and laughed, except one precious thing the frog had managed to keep safe. The frog offered the lotus seeds to Ember. They pleaded for Ember to take the lotus, as the frog knew how important good ingredients were in hard times. The stranger closed their eyes and let the fog overwhelm them. Soft, gentle fog, it held them like a vice. The mist could not be pushed, would not be fanned away. The stranger spoke. The fog didn't choose me, it just was. I hope it never closes on you, friend. The frog was relieved to see Ember again. They asked that Ember take the lotus seeds to their old friend, the cook. The frog was relieved to see Ember. They asked that Ember take the lotus seeds to their old friend, the cook. The ghost said, "You have done all you can, little one. Your journey lies ahead. Little one, your journey ahead will not be easy. The path to leave this place is blocked. I will guide others to follow after you clear the way." There are others like me who can. You will always be welcome here in the forest. Once again, Ember could feel eyes watching. Ember approached the forlorn, but felt it was different. They said, "I know what I need to do. I don't want to be helped." Ember could not help. Not all problems were puzzles to be solved. The two travelers were talking quietly. "Yeah, I got so lost in the marsh, you know. Why go anywhere else if it's safe here? Yeah, never having to worry again. The birds scare me though. Do you know where we are? I've been walking forever, lost in the marsh. The guard joked. Another scrawny ember from the forest, and with a bag looking all nicely and shiny. Both guards started looking at Ember with a deathly stare. The guard leered. The forest king. Yes, come a little closer. Let us see what's in that bag. We guard the door to the forest king. Oh yes, we decide who gets to see the king. The forest king will want to see you. Yes, yes, come this way. A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not to show it. The giant bird spoke softly. And do not fear, the bird is a friend. Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little Ember, birds won't hurt you. Birds will take another under our wing. Stay safe in the nest, you'll never... Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? See? Birds will make the world less frightened. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird was disappointed. Stay? No need to help, silly. Hope is false. Hope hurts little ones in the forest kings. Perhaps they could rest here. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little Ember. You will stay. You will not turn forlorn. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather means Ember is one of... Birds keep little ones safe. Birds should never leave the nest. The guard seemed pleased. I can hold that bag. Leave him alone. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. The stranger wanted Ember's attention, being careful not to speak too loudly. You should get away from here while you still can. You can't trust the birds. I've heard there's another campfire in the marsh. Well, that's where I'm going if I can find a way down. The crossroads gate was locked. It was worth trying, but it didn't fit in the lock. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. Nothing down there but sadness. Go see the forest king. He'll set you straight. Got your first feather, I see. Best prove yourself, Scruff. Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. The stranger leaned in. I know how crazy this is, but friend, those birds are really just embers, dressed up. Ember didn't like deceiving the birds. But what choice did they have? They couldn't rest in that place forever. They had to keep going. Ember hurried away from the birds. The mist hung close to Ember, hiding them. The forest king seemed frightened, the birds cruel. Ember would rather risk turning forlorn than become like them. Ahead there would be others to help, and maybe a way to move on. Ember uncovered a journal entry. Dusk brings the longest shadows. The lanthorn comforts me. Soft melodies from home. The wild things listen, yellow eyes in graying trees. The travelers seem distressed. I'm sure it's fine. They'll be okay. But it's been a while since. It's my fault. The traveler whispered quietly. No matter where I go, I always end up here. No matter where I go, always here. It looked like a map, but pieces were missing. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. There were memories here, bound in rock. I hear their voices echo in the ancient stone. I find footprints by the cinders, a makeshift camp. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. The piece formed a new route. It was the same place as before. But how? In a haze, they said, "You're just like me now." Going round and round and round and never escaping. An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Gradually, more of the map was revealed. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundations. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? The stranger spoke. You know, part of me didn't want to be found. I said some things I shouldn't have. And now I'm lost. And it's too late. The skeleton looked peaceful. Held tightly in its hand was a red feather. The statue spoke, just as it once moved the hearts of the forlorn. The instrument you now hold has the power to another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. Ember found a scrap of journal. I heard them coming. The snap of a twig, a flutter of birds. A figure dashing through the undergrowth. Another like me? Hidden inside was the Wanderer's journal. Another face at last. A catcher of fish resting by a pond. We work together, silk and tar and aching fingers. My boat floats once more, though I almost wish to stay. There was one last place to reach on the map. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. Ember felt a great relief to be out of the mist. The way through was muffled by the fog. Could that have been a tremendous snow? The way through was muffled by the fog. Could that have been a tremendous snow? Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. A sleeping pig. They looked happy. The plant looked like it could take her, and it was in Ember's way. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, Ember shuffled nerve. Other embers fed me treats, but then stopped. You feed me now. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Surprising, a little sparky, but tingly, but what I want is something more fruity. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. Inside was a secret diary entry. Pink, orange, red, brown, leaves gently dancing to the ground. Crunch, crackle, lovely sound, fall into a giant mound. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Fruity, fresh, but tastes a lot like mud. what I want is something with more crunch. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot see far enough to tell. No, I want something different. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Crunchy, embery. Not much meat, but what I want is... The pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been so afraid of. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig looked a lot less imposing. The pig shouted joyously, "Join me, morsel!" The pig seemed happy, but Ember wasn't. Why do I need some true nourishment, but so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally think. Thank you, morsel. Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. This is the hollow marsh. Here hope was consumed before it could flourish. You must not lose hope, or you too will turn forlorn. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost along their journey. Find them and I will guide them.